Thank you guys for being here. So I just want to say thanks to my husband too, because I don't know if you guys know this. This is my first time doing this ever. Yeah. So this is history in the making here, but he really helped me put some structure to what was rolling around in my head, like what I wanted to share tonight. So big thanks to him, and he's around here somewhere, but I told him not to sit on the front row, and I don't want to see him, so because he's going to make me nervous. But anyway, and really this is just a testimony to what God's been doing in my life, and just a testimony to his faithfulness. Over the past couple years, he's really brought healing and freedom in my life, and so this is not somewhere that I ever wanted to be on stage. You know, that's my husband's job. I would rather be on the front row, just being an encouragement to him, or behind the scenes doing something, but God's brought me to this place tonight, and I've actually been kind of excited about it. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle, and I have a picture of my family up here, and maybe you guys have seen my husband around. His name is Jeff. We've been married for 17 years. And my oldest is Riley. He's 14. He's a freshman at Ashley this year. My daughter is in 7th grade, Kenley, and she's at Myrtle Grove Middle. And then my youngest, Emery's in 6th grade. And we have jumped onto this adventure called homeschooling with him. And to say that has been a life change is an understatement. I've had to totally rework my days, but it's really been great. He's doing great. He's learning a lot, and we're having fun sometimes. Anyway, that's my that's my family. And I've been really looking forward to this night for a long time. Really, this popped in my head in August that I wanted to do a night for ladies. And those of you who were on the Nicaragua trip, you know what I'm talking about. There was one night, we had been working all day, and we were back to the compound, and there's always music playing, but this night it was just kind of louder. And so what happened was a dance party kind of broke out, and ended up the kids versus the adults, so it was like a dance battle type thing. And so I'm not a dancer. I like to think I am in my head, you know. I like to think I'm Michael Jackson or something, but I think when people see me, they see more of like Elaine on Seinfeld, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, you get to see my moves later. But just that night, I looked around and just saw moms having such a good time dancing, and I'm like, we need to do that at home. So I hope you guys can stick around and have some fun with us later. But who is ready for the holidays? Anybody? Do you know that? Just two people right there. Thanksgiving is 13 days away, just in case you didn't know. And Christmas is 6 weeks away. And I don't know about you, but I haven't even really thought about it. But I was reminded that Christmas is coming in Costco, like early October, walking in Costco, and my youngest is like, hey, look, there's Christmas decorations. I'm like, no, not in October. Seriously, people don't understand. You have Halloween, but after Halloween is Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. You can't get that out of order. It makes me angry, really. I'm like, so I'm just walking through Costco like this. I'm not looking at Christmas. I'm not even thinking about it. But then just this past week, I was reminded Christmas is coming. My oldest son texted me his Christmas list. I'm like, oh, you are on the ball with this. So he texted me, and there was these links. I'm like, what is this? He's like, oh, it's my Christmas list. So, I mean, things have changed, seriously, haven't they? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, there was no texting mom my Christmas list. Does anybody remember picking out your gifts in a catalog? A Sears and Roebuck catalog. It was like this thick, 500 pages. You could buy anything from bras and underwear to vacuum cleaners, toys, toaster ovens, whatever you needed was in that catalog. You would get your pen out, and you would circle what you wanted, and you would write your name next to it so mom knew what to get you for Christmas. It's come a long way, hasn't it? And then, like, later on in life, they come out with, like, the ads on the Sunday paper, and there's like 500 ads, and you just go through the ads. But I don't know if you guys have any Christmas traditions. Growing up, we didn't really have any Christmas Eve traditions because Santa brought our gifts. And so some people, you know, open stockings on Christmas Eve or one gift. We did that for a while. My kids would get to pick out one gift to open on Christmas Eve, and it was one that I pre-selected for them because it was Christmas pajamas, and every kid needs Christmas pajamas the night before Christmas, right? But they're kind of to the age now where they don't wear pajamas anymore, and so we don't really do that anymore. But my dad was Santa. I realized that pretty early. But so the gifts weren't out, Christmas Eve. They showed up on Christmas because Santa brought them. But, you in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I hope I get that thing that I wanted. And with my dad, it was weird because I couldn't look at the box and think, that's it. That's what I wanted. Because my dad had this weird way of wrapping gifts. I don't know if any of you guys have done this, but he would wrap the gift, and then he would find a box just a little bit bigger than the gift and put it in that box. And then he would find a bigger box and put it in that box. And before you know it, I have this huge gift. I'm like, sweet. And then you open it, and it just gradually gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's just this little thing. But I've tried doing that with my kids, and they got mad, so I stopped doing it. But but lately, what I do is if I don't have a box, like I'll go to the recycling and get like a cereal box or like a granola bar box and put, a shirt in there so they think, oh, I got granola bars. No, it's just a shirt. But anyway, I don't know if you have any weird Christmas things you do like that. But I was probably first grade. Like I don't have a whole lot of memories from my childhood. I don't know why, but I do remember this one gift I was really, really, really hoping I would get. And it was called Dolly Pops. I don't know if any of you have seen those or remember those, but I found a commercial from them. So this is Dolly Pops.
Dolly Pops, Dolly Pops. Here's Dolly Pops Outdoor Playtime. Dolly Pops are dress-up dolls with fun things you just pop on.
Let's go for a ride.
Dolly Pops. And here's Dolly Pops taking care of baby. You can walk a baby here and there. You can fix her long hair. Dolly Pops, oh Dolly, Dolly, Dolly.
She's so cute.
Dolly Pops. Dolly Pops taking care of baby. Dolly Pops Outdoor Playtime sold separately from Knickerbocker.
So that is what I was hoping for, and I got it for Christmas, yay! But, okay, that was our technology back in 1982. Doesn't that just looks so awful, but anybody have Dolly Pops? Like, anybody remember that? Oh my goodness, yeah, just a few of us. But and I was so excited that that's what I got. But wasn't Christmas so different back when we were kids? I mean, things have changed so much over the years. It was so much fun, wasn't it? Like, you could hardly wait for Christmas to get here. You were enduring, like, those last few weeks of school until Christmas break, and then you could hardly sleep the night before. It was so much fun. There was no responsibility, but as you get older, that changes, right? And so it kind of turns into something different. Christmas has a way of adding chaos to our life, and I don't think that's ever what it was intended to be. But between thinking of gifts to buy, buying gifts, wrapping gifts, getting family pictures taken, Christmas cards, work parties, church parties, kids' class parties, Christmas plays, recitals, travel, grocery shopping, Christmas services, meal planning, meal prep, cleaning, and entertaining kids, right, that are home from school. Like, just saying that just makes me tired because, I mean, that's what's coming, right? Holidays can quickly go from fun to frustrating and from the most wonderful time of year to the worst time of year. But it doesn't have to be like that, does it? I mean, it's not too late for us to prepare ourselves for what's coming. I just wanted to share a quick story with you from the Bible, and I think this story really connects with me because it's the story about two sisters. You might have read it before, about Mary and Martha, and just how Jesus says to them, choose what is best. So let me just read a little bit of it to you. It's in Luke 10. If you have your Bibles, you can turn there, or we have it on the screen. But it says, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. And so just let me stop right there. So the story is Jesus is coming to town. And I don't know, it doesn't say if Martha knew he was coming or if she had heard he was coming. It just kind of seems like Jesus showed up. And it wasn't just Jesus. It was Jesus and 12 disciples. And so if I'm Martha and this happens to me, I'm just going to freak out because I'm not prepared. Have you ever had someone just show up unexpectedly? I mean, has anybody's husband come home from work and said, hey, by the way, I invited the staff over for dinner? No, me neither. That's never happened to me. But so somehow you whip something up real quick, and you put your smiley face on, and you make sure you wipe down the toilet seat so there's, nothing on the toilet seat when you have boys. But this is what Martha's feeling. So on one hand, it is such an honor to host Jesus, but on the other hand, it's like she wasn't prepared. And so I'm sure she's like, well, me and my sister, we've got this. I'll just have her help me, and we'll have it all taken care of. But that's not what happened. So verse 39, she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. Another version says she was distracted by the big dinner that she was preparing. So I know we can relate to that, just slaving away in the kitchen, trying to get food prepared for everybody, and everybody else is just like sitting on the couch on Facebook or watching TV, watching football, whatever it is, and not helping. And it's frustrating when you're the only one working. So it's funny what she does next. She came to Jesus and asked, Lord, don't you care? Like, I'm imagining a whiny voice, like, Lord, don't you care? Don't you think it's unfair that my sisters let me to do all the work by myself? Some versions say that Jesus was teaching, so, did she go and interrupt Jesus? I think that would be kind of awkward, but, did she try to get Mary to help? Was she giving her the look, come on, help? I don't know, but Jesus has the best answer ever. He says, Martha, Martha. One version says, Dear Martha. The Lord is so kind to us. You are worried and upset about many things, about all these details, but few things, everybody say few things. Few things are needed, or indeed only one thing. Martha has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. So, what is the one thing that Mary's concerned about? Being with Jesus. Yeah. Martha is focused on doing, and Mary is focused on being. What are you focused on in the midst of the chaos of the holidays? Is it more about doing, or is it more about being? Sure, there's things that have to get done, right? There's meals to plan. There's parties to host, whatever it is. But I think in the midst of the busyness and the chaos, we lose what's most important, what the better thing is. Martha was about to miss out on an opportunity to be with Jesus. I think that's so easy for us to do. In the midst of the busyness, we miss opportunities to be with Jesus, or miss the opportunities that Jesus puts in front of us because we're just so busy. Jesus said that what Mary has chosen is better. So all these things are not bad things. There's just something better. I've heard it said that if Satan can't make you bad, it's we're not going to go out and turn into crackheads over Christmas, right? I mean, it's not like we're going to get bad things, but if he can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. Busyness is awful. So I think we'd agree that not much has changed in the past 2,000 years. So just another verse. Romans 12, verse 2 says, Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Another version says, don't copy the behaviors and the customs of this world. So what are the behaviors and the customs of this world? Around the holidays, the emphasis is on doing. And I think pretty much for life, the emphasis is on doing, but then when you add the holidays on top of it, I think it just compounds into craziness. So we live in a world that says if you want to have a successful holiday, here's what you have to do. Your house has to be decorated to look so amazing, right? Your table, you have to have all the cool place settings, go on Pinterest and find all these things and make all these things. That's what your table has to look like. And your food, you have to slave away in the kitchen and put it together in just the perfect order. And if your tree does not look like this, if you don't have gifts coming out from under it, your family's going to be upset. It's not going to be a success. And then, of course, your family. You got to have the perfect family. Everybody's smiling, right? Even the dog looks like he's smiling a little bit. But who are we trying to impress? What's the point? Of course, we want our houses to look nice. We want to be prepared. We want to have good food. But at what expense? So, you know who's to blame for all of this? I think Pinterest is to blame for all of this. Isn't it true? You can get so carried away with all your little boards and all your little pins, and you have the best intentions, like, look at all these cool things I'm going to make. I'm going to do these crafts with the kids. I'm going to make this food. And then what happens? After Christmas, you look at all this, and you're like, I'm a failure. I didn't do any of it. That's why I'm so thankful for these vendors out here. I see these things on Pinterest, And in my mind, I think, oh, yeah, I can make this stuff. But I try. I'm not creative at all. When I was a kid, my mom said that I fell so much. Like, I broke my tooth when I was a kid, but also I got this dent in my head right here. And I blame my lack of creativity on this dent right here. So thank you to all your vendors for making all the stuff that I wish I could make, and I'll buy it from you. So what if this holiday season we just approached it differently? What if we prepared ourselves in advance? Like, we know it's coming. We know the craziness is coming. But what if we prepared ourselves in advance for it? You know, there's still time because it's not here yet. We have 13 days till Thanksgiving, 6 weeks till Christmas. We have time. What if we were more concerned about being instead of doing, like Martha? So how are we going to do this? How are we going to choose better? I just wrote down a couple quick little things that help me when I'm in a bind, but plan ahead. I like to think in my mind that I'm organized, and sometimes I am, but most of the time I'm not. But I find especially with meal planning, if I can get a week's worth of meals planned out and grocery shopping done, like, I'm able to enjoy those days better. You know, I'm not having to rush to the store at 5 o'clock in the afternoon to figure out what's for dinner. So I think just planning ahead helps things go a lot smoother and helps you be able to choose better. Instead of being in the kitchen, you're able to spend the time with your family. Identify the distractions in your life. This is tough because we feel like life is busy and everything we do is important, and it's hard to identify the things that really distract us. In my life, it's social media. I find myself sucked in, you know? You sit down and you're like, I'm just going to check it real quick. And then like 2 hours later, you're like, oh my goodness, I need to get the kids from school and I got to go grocery shopping and all this, and you forget. It's a distraction. And especially during the holidays, I mean, holidays, you get together with family, maybe people you haven't seen all year, and it's easy just to sit and veg and be on your phone, unless you're cooking and then you're in the kitchen. But I don't want people that I haven't seen all year to think that what's on my phone is more important than them. So figure out what the distractions are in your life and choose better. Lastly, and most importantly, spend time with the Lord. Cover your holidays in prayer and ask for help. Ask for help with difficult relationships. Ask for help for managing your time wisely. And ask for help to see the opportunities that God puts in front of you this Christmas. I mean, busyness affects us. It affects our family. But it also affects the people that God brings in our path through the holidays. I mean, it makes me upset, and sometimes I cry just thinking about, you know, the opportunities that God might have brought in my way that because I was so busy, I totally missed it. I mean, you hear the stories on Facebook and hear people talking about just that divine appointment, you know, and I feel like sometimes I just miss so many of those divine appointments because I'm just so concerned on getting in the grocery store, getting what I need. I mean, what if we stopped and slowed down and talked to the cashier? Just the other day, I love the self-checkout lines because you can get in and get out really fast, and you don't have to have a conversation with the checkout person. And I even thought that in my mind as I was checking out. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have to talk to anybody right now. I'm trying to get home. And so there's usually a person that's over the self-checkout station, and I don't know, maybe he thought I wanted to talk to him or something, but he walked up to me and started I was buying Doritos for my son, and he came up to me. He was like, oh, those are the best Doritos ever. And he's like, this new video game that came out tonight, and I'm going to go grab some of those Doritos, and we're just going to veg and play video games all night. And in my mind, I'm like, cool, that's awesome. I really don't want to talk about that right now. but still, what if I had taken the time and said, that's cool, you know, who are you going to play with? And I don't know where that could have led with this college-age kid, but he was trying to talk, and I just wasn't interested. But how many of those opportunities do we miss just because we're so busy? So spend time with the Lord. I'm going to show you a few verses before I close. Psalm 34, 4-6 says, I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. Those who look to him for help will be what? What does it say? Radiant with joy. No shadow of shame will darken their faces. In my desperation I prayed, and the Lord listened. He saved me from all my troubles. And then in Exodus 34, 29. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant, because he had spoken with the Lord. When we spend time with the Lord, what's the result? We're radiant. Radiant means shining and glowing brightly. Is this how people see you during the holidays? Is this how people see you maybe in life, just in general? But especially during the holidays. Isn't that what people need to see? They need to see light. They need to see hope in just a world of darkness. So my hopes for you this holiday season is just that you will choose what is better.